1,650 for the electrical version. That's an extra half metric ton that you're carrying everywhere.
Boy, oh boy, did I get a shock when I actually looked into the actual data around electric vehicles versus hybrids and traditional vehicles. Astonishing stuff. So do you want to see a half metric ton of actual data in this question? Well, go no further. Myself and Eddie Hobbs on Counterpoint Show went through it all in around 10 minutes. Just a quick other thing, I'm really excited. I released my new weight loss and metabolic health app, and it's AI powered, and I've loaded up all of my material from 12 to 14 years of research and interaction with experts all over the world, and huge success. I've humbly helped people with weight loss and other chronic disease issues. It's all loaded in there. So I think it's fantastic. But the link is down below in any case. So here we go. Me and Eddie slay the EV dragon.
In this episode of Counterpoint, we switch gear to look at the future of motoring. This is set against the huge reduction set by the Department of Finance to reduce miles travelled by a fifth in the next 5 years and to a half over the next 25 years. I'm Eddie Hobbs. Let's break it down. Well, first we're going to go to chartered engineer Ivor Cummins, and you've become the kind of unofficial data doctor for Counterpoint. It doesn't come with any payments, Ivor, but I just want to thank you for jumping in again. And you've been looking at the background here. I've asked you just to look. We just want to spend a bit of time talking about the whole green agenda, because we dealt with it with the Department of Finance Future 40 report quite recently in another episode. I just wanted to ask you, what is going on in that area? What have you discovered?
Yeah, well, it'll be a reassurance to your viewers, Eddie. I did chartered engineering in 2015, and I came in the top 6 of 500 approximate applicants for good reasons, I think, without being too smart about it. So yeah, data is my thing. So I looked today for a couple of hours into the data around this. I had some broad ideas, but I was interested in what I found out. So the first thing we might go to slide 1 is the market.
Yeah.
And I'd heard anecdotally the market was not great. And sure enough, early in 2025, there were a lot of articles came out. You can see them on the screen, the top 4 articles there. And they're all acknowledging that Houston, we have a problem with electric vehicle sales, primarily the battery electric vehicles, the pure electrics. And then interestingly, I used ChatGPT, and it came across as extremely biased pro EVs. And you'll see down the bottom of that slide 1 that it was referring to, well, actually, things are getting great in 2025. But as usual, when you dig in, 2/3 of the sales that they refer to in the Reuters article, bottom center, are in China, which in fairness is a separate issue. And another big chunk of them are Americans were running out of the subsidies and the huge subsidy deals that they were getting. So there was a surge in purchases based on the subsidies running out. So always when you dig, you find out things are not quite what the AI tells you. But slide 2 then is the really interesting one. So I've skipped a slide where there's loads of articles showing 26%, 35% down, plenty of articles out there on that. But this guy, Jeff Buys Cars, someone tipped me off this afternoon to look at his video. And it's fascinating. Now, Jeff Buys Cars was very good during the COVID period on all of that madness. So he's kind of a questioner. But if you look at slide 2, you'll see that the figures there on the top right, when you go from 20 to 21, which is slightly out of view.
And then you see the numbers from around 150,000 up to around 240, right? That's a good increase. And then from 22 to 23, you've jumped up to 301,000, very nice. And then from 23 to 24, we have 331,000 approximately. So again, increasing. But then from 24 to 25, the leftmost column, We see we're down to around 106,000 to date. And those figures may be a little behind. The data isn't fully in yet. So the blue square below, we see the 2025 total that Jeff has kind of estimated, and it's around 140 something thousand. So way, way lower than the previous period.
Which tallies with all of the other reports I'm not showing here. So definitely people are shrinking back from the pure electric vehicles, but we'll have to wait and see how that progresses in the coming year or two.
And then when when you're looking at the actual performance then of the conventional cars and the hybrids and the EVs, what did you find? Because you told me off camera you had a surprising find, which I think is great.
Yeah, so slide 3, I've put everything together this afternoon on a single sheet, and I'll just run through it. The finding I had was that hybrids, and also the plug-in hybrids, impressed me more than I expected. So as you know, Eddie, I'm unbiased. I just look at the data. That's what I do. And the hybrids look even better than I thought they were. So from the top, you've got the CO2 that is released during the manufacture of the car. Now, an internal combustion engine, ICE, traditional, on the left column, there's around 6 tons of CO2 in its manufacture. The EVs, the pure electric vehicles, BEVs, battery electric vehicles, there's around 12 tons of CO2. An extra 6 tons. And that's because of the intensity of the batteries and other aspects of them. And then the hybrids are pretty much a true hybrid is around the same as a standard car. And the plug-in hybrids have bigger batteries. So they're 7.5 tons instead of 6. But the message from the CO2 used in the manufacture is that the EVs start off really, really bad. And they're going to take some number of years before they even begin to break even. Now, if we go to the next line on the slide, for 200,000 miles, the CO2 released in a traditional car supposedly is 32 tons. And in an EV electric, if you're using traditional fuels to generate your electricity, or more coal-centric or oil-centric, the EV releases 27 tons in that lifetime. And if you're using Western with a lot of green energy, apparently ChatGPT claims it's more like 15 tons. And then when we go to the hybrids, they're pretty good. But the third line is the total CO2 over the life of the vehicle. A traditional, 38 tons. An EV electric vehicle could be as high as 39 tons, right? If you're using fossil fuels to generate your electricity, and it could be as low as 27 tons. But the hybrids are the winners. I put them in green, around 29 tons total, and as low as 23.5 tons for the plug-in hybrids. Now, you'll see a figure 35.5 tons that looks pretty high. That's if you don't use the plug-in hybrid correctly. And if you don't use the electrical plug-in for the hybrid, in fairness, they've got all the battery weight and you're not using any of the electrical advantage. So I'd stick with the EV plug-in hybrid used correctly, and then the hybrids sweep home. That's if you believe CO2 is a problem and not a plant food crucial for all life on this planet, which I'd be more like.
Yeah.
But even if you believe in the CO2, the hybrids romp home.
So what we're witnessing is political, right?
Absolutely political. And we'll go through the rest of the sheet and you'll see that it's political. There's a point on ideology. For autonomy, I showed that the traditional engine gives you total autonomy and you're outside of the control system of being plugged into the machine, obviously. And EV electric, pure electric are a disaster given the concerns we have with where the autocratic world is going. You are locked into the electrical system. I'll just give one example. So the Ukraine war, the price of gas went up around 3x. And the price, it flew up just for a few weeks. And the electricity prices, everyone should remember, shot up. But then after a couple of weeks, the price of gas came right back, and now it's at all-time lows. But the electricity cost didn't come back. It's still double what we had before or close to it. So the problem is, if you are locked into the electrical grid system, the government, you are very, very limited, and you can get absolutely screwed with electricity costs. Whereas the open market...
Ivor, how does that feed then through to, say, comparisons of an EV versus, say, a hybrid or a conventional car on a long journey? Has it moved around the cost per mile?
Yeah, well, the long journey, the traditional and the hybrids romp home again. I mean, this, Eddie, is a rout. I love putting this sheet together. So if we look at it again briefly, just for people to zone in, we've got the distance or the range. So around 450 miles for a traditional car. On the right, we've got the hybrids who are actually a little longer because they've got an advantage of using good technology and efficiency. So they're actually even better in range. And if the batteries go kaput, you've still got all the autonomy and most of the range. But look at the EV. You're talking a couple of 100 miles, a huge reduction in range. And people need to understand, it's not like they have a massively lower range. We just stop off at the gas station. No, you've got to do a full charging cycle at the end of that short range. Before you're on your way.
Another thing that jumps out, I'm just looking at the table for the first time there, is the weight of the EVs are considerably heavier than, because that has to be carried as well by the energy in it. That's quite extraordinary, isn't it?
I was impressed in a bad way. I knew there was a weight problem, but looking at the sheet there, you'll see by the numbers, it's always about the numbers. We've got around 1,100 kilograms from ChatGPT for a medium or smallish car, 1,650 for the electrical version. That's an extra half metric ton that you're carrying everywhere. And then the hybrids, they're pretty damn good. You got a little extra for the true hybrid. And then for the plug-in hybrid, yeah, you've got biggish batteries, but it's still only 1,300 kilograms. And that brings you on to another thing, tire wear. So basically, rough calculations from ChatGPT, you've got an extra 25% approximately of tire wear, and that could be around 15 or 1,600 euro over the life of the vehicle of extra rubber hitting the road, right? So you got to add that in too.
So, I mean, well, that's the good news, that you're going to be getting some kind of a hybrid vehicle next, and you may be getting it from my guest in studio, Nadia Adan. So, Nadia, you're very welcome to studio. I'm going to take a short break here now. I just want to introduce you to the audience because I'm really looking forward to this discussion. Ivor, I want to thank you again for doing all that. That's excellent analysis. That's fascinating stuff. I know there's been a lot of people out there going to be glued. They'll be playing this back a few times to make sure that they catch up with you. So thanks for that's very, very valuable. Ivor, thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Eddie. And again, the figures are approximate, but it'll be interesting to see how the electric vehicle ideological loons fight back on this one.
Well, we're all going to be looking forward to seeing what you're going to be driving next, on foot of this analysis. So, Ivor, thanks very much for that.
That'll do it, folks. I'm looking forward to hearing all the EV proponents coming back. I got all that data from ChatGPT, summarized, approximated, but you saw the table. And as I mentioned at the start, I'm really excited about my new weight loss and health app to get longevity and joie de vivre into your life and look fantastic. So all the best information of the last 12 plus years of my research and interaction with worldwide experts and all the hundreds or thousands of people I've helped to lose huge amounts of weight. I meet them in my public talks all around the world. It's all in there, and I think the AI engine has done a fantastic job to keep you on track, both psychologically, which is one of the most important aspects of weight loss for people who have challenges, and of course metabolically, dietary. Everything is in there. You'll be carried along, and there's an expert coach as well that will speak and answer any questions essentially in my voice. So really excited. I think it is the business, and the links are down below, and I'll just leave you with my little introductory video that's on the app website. You can see all my little videos there halfway down the scrolling screen, and I'll just leave you with this. So hopefully you'll go and take a look and think about creating a new you. Hey all, welcome to my brand new weight loss app powered by AI. And the best thing about this is everyone needs a little help and support when embarking on losing weight, especially if one has failed before at any point. And this app has all of my best material all incorporated and loaded in. And also my weight loss masterclass, my online workshops, all the video material, all the supplementary material that covers, menopause and midlife challenges with weight loss and weight loss plateaus. And I cover everything. Of course, there's the diet, the correct foods to eat, the correct eating behaviors, and all of that stuff that many weight loss support mechanisms have. But what they're all missing is the most important thing of all. So for sustained weight loss, right, especially if you have failed before, the psychology is the most important factor. So luckily, I also do a mind management, mental strength, 3-hour online workshop with cognitive psychological science, the chimp model of how our brains work in terms of indulgence and resistance. And all of that material, or the important salient parts, are also all going to be available through the app. So again, the app will bring you through the journey. It will support you with coaching, with daily activities, analyze what you're eating, analyze how you're feeling, how is your resolve, and give tips, tricks, and support all the way to make this weight loss journey you hopefully are embarking on one of the most successful ever, the ultimate one. And also you get the chronic disease risk mitigation, you get fitness and health and sleep quality, and so many other things when you follow the correct science. So I hope you enjoy using the app. Give me feedback, absolutely. And down below, there's a few videos just giving a little taste of some of the content from my online workshops. There'll be lots and lots more. There's a huge repository of knowledge and science and advice loaded into the app on the front end by myself over the past months. But below is just a little teaser, if you will, in these few short videos. So hope to see you soon.